Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. And today we're going to be looking at a game that I think some people really have forgotten about this series, how great this series was. Of course, we're talking about Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. I decided I'd probably do this. I really love this series. Maybe I should try to do like a retrospective of this series, perhaps. But I wanted to show people the first Soul Reaver game. Of course, there was Soul Reaver 2 on the PS2, and then Legacy of Kain Defiance. Yeah, I basically wrapped up the Soul Reaver storyline. But the original one was Legacy of Kain, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, and you play as Kain, a nobleman who's executed and turned into a vampire. Soul Reaver takes place like far in the future after, after everything is gone with Kain. There was, of course, Blood Omen 2, which I may be looking at here, like looking at the GameCube version. Yeah, and Blood Omen 2 was kind of like took place after Blood Omen. So, Blood Omen 2 isn't really particularly good, but the Soul Reaver series is definitely, I think, where it went up a notch. Now, of course, this was on the PlayStation 1, and this was a very ambitious game, I think, for the PlayStation 1. As I've said before, like in Bloodlines, a lot of games were trying to go into 3D, and Soul Reaver tried to take Legacy of Kain series in 3D. And, well, obviously, this game is, really dated. Usually, you can get the Dreamcast version of this. Usually looks a lot better because it's got more enhancements to the graphics. And ironically, I played the Dreamcast version before I ever played the PS1 version. Well, let's get into this here. Okay. Yeah, made back in Crystal Dynamics back in 99.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. was only one possible outcome: my eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy. I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver, my angel of death.
Basically, that was the elder god talking. He kind of like, it's kind of a secret benefactor throughout the Soul Reaver series. Yeah, as you can see, the voice acting, music, wow, it's pretty great. There's a lot of modern games, I think, that can't pull off the voice acting. It's quite great. I remember complaining about all the games and how it felt like it was a movie because of all these talking, but now I understand that the voice acting and everything was great. They got really good voice actors. Of course, the voice actor of the Elder God was a voice actor that played Megabyte. Of course, sadly, he has since, he has since passed away. I think he passed away a couple of years ago. As a lot of other voice actors on this game have also, some of them have passed away. But of course, some of them are still with us. But I just, that's definitely one of the two major great things I like about this game. Well, let's get back into it here. This whole stage is kind of teaches you the moves and stuff in the game. I guess I just want to show off how the gameplay kind of handles here. Oh well, let me explain some of the stuff here. Yeah, this thing you see to the right here is your health bar, the weird little circular thing. That's your health bar. Of course, you can get more medallions and stuff to increase your health. Now, I think this thing here is, you get multiple parts for it, and it does it, I believe. The top left, I believe, is your magic, the magic power you have. Well, let's get back into it then.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans. You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
He's wearing that mask for a good reason, because this is like no bottom jaw can burn off. Yeah, essentially Raziel's been reduced to like a walking corpse, essentially.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
As you can see, camera angles jumping around is obviously rather dated.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Stua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest. portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Well, essentially here is like one major mechanic of this series, at least as when you play as Raziel, is there's the physical world, which is where you can, flip switches, open doors, and then there's the spectral realm. And this game's like basic mechanic is switching between that and the physical world to solve puzzles and whatnot. Pretty interesting puzzles. They're not like super hard, but takes a little bit to do them. So essentially what the Elder God has explained to us is that we're supposed to, there's portals that you can go to the physical world. Of course, that's what he has explained. If you take enough damage, you're going to go right back to the spectral realm. So you can go in the spectral realm whenever. The physical realm is where it's a little difficult trying to get back, travel between both worlds, essentially. Select, and then we can actually cast it like we would a spell or whatnot.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve. You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
That was close.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood.
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow. Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
The biggest thing I like about this game is the story. You know, a story of I guess you could say you know a story about revenge, essentially like revenge, redemption. You know, many emphases in this story here. You know, Reziel was betrayed by Kain and thrown into the pit, and then he's like has returned as this soul reaver, essentially. He was once a vampire, so now he has to drain souls instead of drink blood, and it's ultimately about his revenge. I think for Reziel. But in Kain's role in the Soul Reaver universe is redemption. I guess Kain hopes to perhaps redeem himself and try to, him and Reziel will, they'll attempt to try to repair the damage done. So perhaps maybe Kain, perhaps some redemption in at least his, his role in the way that Nosgoth is now like supposedly deteriorating. Well, that supposedly, the world is now like deteriorating. So I think that's the ultimate thing I get from this storyline. Also, Reziel needs to redeem himself. So it's a story about revenge, redemption, and self-discovery, I guess, because Reziel will try to discover his past and, come to grips with his existence. Yeah, as I said, the voice acting is quite good, but apparently, I'm sure you can tell that the graphics are incredibly dated. And I think the gameplay is good, but, the controls are a little iffy, camera angles. Like when I was in that previous room, I knew where to move the block only because I've played it a couple times. Because before, there's really no way to adjust the camera up. At least, I don't think there is. I think there is later, or maybe there's some control I'm not doing. But anywho, I wanted to show this game because a lot of people seem to have almost kind of forgotten about this game. It's one of those games, but I think most of these games suffer from the same kind of 3D camera and stuff. I think that's kind of a problem that they all have. Because Soul Reaver 2, I've played it. It almost feels like it kind of has the same mechanics as the PlayStation game. Even Defiance has a little bit of it. I mean, not that that's bad. It's just if this series was ever planning on coming back, they definitely would have to change the gameplay. But I think the music and the storyline and the voice acting is top notch. I really think it is. I think the gameplay ultimately may not hold up as well. A lot of bad camera angles. Platforming is a little bit difficult with the way these controls are atrocious, I think. So I think I'll probably give this game a rating of, let's see, an 8. I think I wish I could give this game like a full 10 because I really do like this game. But the graphics, I think the graphics and the controls are the two major big things I think that hold this game back. But I definitely suggest you definitely want to play this for the story. The story is it's very cool to have good voice actors explain stuff. Unlike a lot of games where we get, things explaining us how to do stuff, and it's like, the essence of like the tutorial level. Essentially, we're playing a kind of like, almost kind of like tutorial level as you try to figure stuff out. Yeah, Rezio will gain like multiple other powers. He'll get like the actual Soul Reaver that Kain has, and there's also like secret spells to get in this game. You don't really need them, but they're kind of helpful when you're fighting enemies. Yeah, essentially, since you're fighting other vampiric enemies, you have to like impale them, severely injure them and then impale them, throw them in water, burn them, or throw them in sunlight. It's kind of a unique thing because it's almost like, you have to have a weakness, you have to carry a weakness of these vampiric enemies. Now, Raziel was one of many lieutenants that Kain had. Essentially, he's going to have to go hunt down his former brothers. And he's going to have to kill them and get their soul powers, and they get unique powers and abilities that you get from them, and ultimately confront Kain. And going between spectral and physical realms is a rather interesting thing. It's a mechanic that I get pretty quick, and it's not like overly complicated, really. Now, Soul Reaver 2 is definitely full of a lot of storyline. I mean, I think you can probably go. Probably Soul Reaver 2 on the PlayStation 2 has tons of storyline, which you may not particularly like. The voice acting is great. I think the voice direction and stuff is, really great. I mean, I really wish games were made like this. Of course, not the graphics or the controls, but I wish that a lot of games have such terrible voice acting, or what they say just isn't directed right and feels like they're recording it in a basement or something somewhere. But I mean, this was like, wow. I mean, they really got music and sound and voice acting and voice direction quite great in this game. Unfortunately, this series ended on a cliffhanger. Defiance kind of ends on a cliffhanger. At least that's what a lot of people told me, and I've played Defiance and whatnot. I actually still have that on the PS2, and I actually have a PS2 that I can fire up at any particular time. Anyway, I guess that will be it here on this episode of the E-Man Show. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Hopefully our pandemic issues and things that are going on are going to be resolved. Hopefully at some point. I was getting kind of tired of not being able to go to the movies, not being able to go sit in a restaurant. And stuff I have to deal with at work because I'm considered one of those essential workers, I guess. Anyway, you guys stay safe out there and take it easy. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.